Well. That, yes, that gets us in the mood tonight, doesn't it, Ralph Land?
Yes, indeed, you do. I was waiting on the wob 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 wob. Poof.
I went old style this time. So
There.
welcome, one and all. Finally, the shuttle has arrived. Unlike the movie, which was early, this one took its time. And tonight we're celebrating Outland from 1981, which was probably one of the most significant movies of 1981. We're celebrating 1981 in movies, one of the greatest years ever for movie history. So tonight we've got Outland. It was written and directed by Peter Hyams. It's widely regarded as the high noon in space. It's high noon in space with Sean Connery in the Gary Cooper role. So tonight we're going to watch this cult classic action thriller set on the Jupiter moon of Io, which is being mined for titanium by Con Am, a global corporation. We know all about them. Connery plays the federal marshal who uncovers a horrific conspiracy. We know all about those.
Conspiracy. Hold on. Time out. Back up, because we're not allowed to talk about conspiracies.
No, we'll have to clip that bit later.
Yeah,
for YouTube.
I got the memo from Susan. She said no.
No. Okay, yeah, I'm sure we'll get another one as well. So, big corp mining executives, they sound like nice people, are secretly supplying an amphetamine-type drug to miners. This is the people who work in mines, tap with pickaxes, not children. Don't worry about that. That gives
not
them
middle schoolers.
No,
Gotcha.
not middle school children. No, that gives them super energy and alertness, allowing them to work long hours, or if you like. In Biden's America, everybody's allowed to work long hours.
So wait a minute. Hold on, back up. Rewind a little bit. We're talking about space meth. The guys are on space meth.
Yep. So it's
Okey-dokey.
space high noon with smeth.
They're all getting cranked up. They're going out working on their space cars at 3 a.m. Annoying the neighbors. Okay, gotcha.
But there's no swimming pools anywhere for them to drown in, so
that's probably
other things
well.
to do.
Good, everybody will make it out of the movie fine then. All right.
So what's happened next is, just as the new marshal arrives, the miners suddenly start having lethal hallucinations. Connery, who plays Marshal O'Neill, gets no help from anyone. And must confront the powerful corporate cover-up completely on his own. A little bit like DeSantis is doing. Who knows? With no topical. With no other than the legendary John Mullo. I was going to say Molio. John Mullo, who designed the costumes for not only Star Wars but Alien, won Oscars for both of those actually. Was a costume designer on this movie, and the models designed by Martin Boa. And Ralph will talk a little bit more about that later on. Special effects, which pioneered the introduction of something called introvision. You're going to see that in the introduction, where introvision was a new way of incorporating rear projection with front action, and it's really done well, and they did some amazing effects there. But also amazing atmospheric soundtrack by well-established sci-fi composer Jerry Goldsmith, which just finishes it off. So you've got the whole gamut of perfect, highly qualified, proven veterans from cinema on this movie, as what also could be described as Western. Outland is another amazing example as well of how the Western genre has not only influenced so many other genres, but it's inspired directors like Peter Hyams, directors and writers, to produce brilliant reinventions of the idea of the lone hero out in the far reaches of humanity. Now, finally, this movie is remarkable as well because the entire last third of the action is dedicated solely to building up the pumping suspense with a literal countdown to the final showdown with its almost perfect sequence of events, extremely suspenseful action that makes for a high-octane, indulgent shootout in the final 20-minute crescendo of this enduring masterpiece and deserved cult classic of cinema. Joining me tonight, as you've heard, is Ralph Land, and this is what Sean Connery actually looked like on the filming of the movie, bless his heart, because he would have worn a hairpiece. So this is actually reality accurate Sean Connery.
Yes, yeah. Uncanny Valley has been achieved. And I'm sorry. Did you say there's going to be a shootout at the end of this movie?
Yes. If we're in 0G, well, my toupee starts to levitate.
I need some Velcro.
But we did last year. We did The Man Who Would Be King, and that's proved to be an incredibly popular video on this channel, and that was Sean Connery's most favorite movie. But of the top 5 of all of Sean Connery's movies, this is one of the top 5 I would always put down on a list, because it was a niche film for many years, but through the advent of the internet, obviously a lot more people are aware of it now, and it is one of the top 5 from his oeuvre, so to speak. And I'm sure you've seen this movie before, Ralph. Do you have any memories of it?
This is not one that's on my frequent player list. It has to have been years and years since I've seen it, but I specifically recall, this came out when I was a young man. Believe it or not, I was young once, despite what everybody else says.
We all were once.
Supposedly. But, I remember the special effects, especially a couple of the death scenes, with one in particular was the talk of the school. And that was somebody else is getting going.
Yeah. Bottle of stout.
Oh, nice. But, this was around the age when, the 80s, you were kicking up, you were beginning to see gore let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
And, Fangoria magazine was out, and, the talk was, oh yeah, this guy does this and this happens, and oh my gosh. And there was always that one kid whose parents were either never home or never bothered to check what the rating was on a movie that would come in and say, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, this guy did this, and it was gross, man. So I am looking forward to watching through this again.
It's one that, and the thing that always sticks in my mind is I remember watching this with my dad. It was back in the day when a lot of these movies were really late at night and at the weekend, and it was one of those things where Dad was just staying up late, kicking back because he didn't have work in the morning for a change, Friday night or something, and what you're watching? Oh, it's blah blah blah, and Sean Connery, and you sit down, you watch it, and you really get engrossed. It's one of those movies you get engrossed in it because it focuses down on the person and the struggle of the man, the one man against all odds, against all the big corp. Other movies like that are things like Seven Samurai.
Yeah,
Seven Samurai builds it up. You get the plan right. The bandits are going to come back at this point. There's going to be a big battle, and it's this really positive, like, let's do this. We're going to plan the defenses. We're going to do this. And it's the same with this. This guy determines, right, I'm not going to just step aside. I'm going to stand up. And there's this build-up of suspense because things are going to come to a head, and you're waiting for the big battle right at the end. Just like the movie it's based on, High Noon. Yeah. And so it's a real, without risking being offensive in any way, it's a man movie. It's a bloke. It's a bloke movie, definitely. And it's the kind of thing you can really get into. and you can really feel a part of what's happening. You feel like you're there in the action, and
And
you
you've
just
got a
get
guy,
engrossed in it.
right? Yeah, you've got a guy that's struggling with, okay, do I take the easy way out, save my own hide, and escape what is probably certain death, or do I do what's right? So you've got a moral struggle, a dilemma that the character has to face. And I hope I'm not stealing too much thunder, because you brought up High Noon, Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai was remade into the Magnificent Seven. So you went with a samurai movie into a Western movie. In this one, we're taking High Noon, which was a Western movie with Gary Cooper, putting it in space. And to me, the samurai aesthetic into a cowboy aesthetic makes perfect sense, because ancient Japan moving into
feudal
the
society.
Wild West, right? The feudal society moving into the Wild West translates extremely well, and I think this also does, because you've got the Wild West in the 1800s in the U.S. You're charting unknown territory. You've got things that wild bands
it's like
of
the Yukon,
Indians. Exactly. You're going out into unknown areas and then translating that into space. I think it fits very well. It's an excellent. It was an excellent choice to move and migrate over and just change the background for the story. So
absolutely, and we'll come back to that as well, as throughout the show tonight and right at the end as well, because it is that retelling, and Americans and British people should be proud of this movie. It was actually a British production, but there was a lot of collaboration with an American. One of the few last remaining, because the British film industry died out. But this was a British production, but it used a lot of American talent as well. So it's, again, that great fusion of British and American talent working together to produce something really, really good. And it shouldn't be ashamed of it at all. The American audience can look at this movie and say, wow, that is a retell. And it's a huge compliment that American mythology has now become part of the world mythos. America has arrived as a country, culturally speaking. It's got to the point in history now where American culture has contributed so many different significant things that they are no longer a young nation. In my opinion, America has grown up culturally and become part. So, don't look at what's happening on CNN. I mean,
I was going
looking
to
back
say
at the last few years, of
we
course, it's
just hit
going
our
downhill everywhere now, as we know. But let's not
we've hit
talk
our
about
midlife crisis in the last few years, but that's okay.
let's hope for better things. But I mean, talking about the influence they've had culturally, it really has started to embed. When you get films like this, you know that the Western is like the American version of the Odyssey.
Right.
It's a universal, elastic narrative that you have variations on a theme, but it's usually the lone hero who, and we're talking about the hero's journey. We talk about, how films like Star Wars were created. Joseph Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces. It's the hero's journey, and it's a quintessential metaphor for the hero's journey. The lone hero out on his own against all odds, and he faces up to the music no matter what. He's got nothing to gain from it, but he just does it out of principle.
Well, and I'm sure this will come up more and more as we go through more films. But the number one, you're right, and I'm not tooting America's horn, here, yay, Team America. But the cowboy is instantly recognizable. You instantly know it's American. You instantly know, it's Wild West.
Yeah.
But in that setting, like you brought up the Odyssey, you've got the hero's journey. You could also explore man versus nature, all sorts of different ways that you can use that basis to expand on basically stories that are already out there and retell them. So I'm personally, I'm in Texas in the United States, so I'm pretty okay with cowboys. I don't mind being associated with cowboys.
Well, that's it. And uh, when you talked about good choices
Mhm.
just before, people who make good choices. Well, after I just took a sip of this
Did you choose
beer,
poorly?
after I took a sip of this beer here,
Uh-huh.
this isn't an actual picture of my exact beer, but it's the exact beer I'm
You
drinking.
admit it. You doxed yourself.
This is I made a great choice. I did really
Okay,
make a great
good.
choice
Good.
with that
Yeah.
tonight. So I'm pleased
Yeah.
I did that. The first mouthful was incredible. I just don't want to drink it. It's so lovely. I'll keep it here as long as I can. Anyway, so this movie is 1 hour for about, I think the copies we've got are about 1 hour 40 minutes
Uh,
roughly.
yeah, mine is 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 17 seconds. And
And
then,
Tony's in the audience here. Just called you a longhorn.
oh, yes. Well, uh, you know what, Tony? I have seen many, 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 many Longhorns in my area. So,
Mhm.
and it's a mix of football or American football players and the steers. So, and those steers you don't want to mess with.
No.
They will make you have a bad day. So,
But it's great. It's great to have Tony in the audience here, and
absolutely glad to have you here, brother.
all the way over in Australia, um, which used to be the new frontier at one point in time.
Okay,
Um,
Tony, don't tell anybody. We're coming to break you out, brother. Just gather your things up. We'll be coming. All right. Be on the
I'm just
lookout.
going to say, Tony, I'm really sorry about the Commonwealth, and maybe Australia could have done a 1770. To be honest, Tony, England might be.
You
I'm
know,
not saying anymore, but there you
yeah,
go.
yeah, we
You know.
can't say anymore because if we get going, we'll have to move it over to the show we're talking about for my
Yeah,
channel.
I think
So
I think I think we're yeah, exactly. This channel's about movies, so
yeah,
so just you wouldn't think so,
stop,
would you?
back up, hold
Let's.
on. Whoa.
Hi, welcome to Movie Watch Live, and
Hi,
tonight.
my name's Ralph. Glad to be here. Yeah, I'm about 8 scotches in. Why do you ask?
Yeah. So commentary channel. So we won't be playing the movie. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, sorry,
But
folks.
if you want to hear me and Ralph rabbit on about different things and interesting trivia, and we will come up with some interesting stuff. I'll guarantee that. Then this is a channel for you. This is where you need to be, and you'll enjoy it. Listen to us as you peel your potatoes or type your dissertation or whatever it is you're going to do, wherever you are in the world today. Tony's in Australia. You might be listening in India. We've got a lot of fans in India who love this show. And to all our
Hello.
Indian fans, namaste. Got to say
Yeah.
that. Namaste.
And from Texas, howdy, y'all.
And
Glad to
from
have you
England,
here.
good evening.
You gotta be so proper. Man, come on, man. Throw some cockney out or something. Come on.
Cockney.
Get,
Oh, what?
Gab. How about
Hang on.
how about
What's
the
that?
pool? By the pool.
But the poo, I don't what I do the cockney, the something people don't understand.
There you
But
go.
I'll tell you this, my good friend Sean, he's in this movie, and I did like the role.
Michael.
They asked me to do it,
Michael, it's me,
but
Sean. Hello.
I know, Sean.
Hello.
I just want to say that I love the movie. I thought it was brilliant, but
Yes, of course. I'm in
when
it.
you got the gun and started shooting, what I wanted to say was, I only wanted you to blow the bloody doors off. So,
Well, I had to show restraint. It's very important.
well, I understand because the toupee has to stay calm.
The toupee
Right.
comes above all else. Yes, indeed.
The toupee rules. So we're going to start our copies rolling. You'll have your own copy at home. You might be watching, streaming. You might have a VHS or a Betamax. I've got a Betamax myself.
Oh, Betamax, much better picture quality if you can get it on Betamax.
But
it did have a Blu-ray release not too long ago. So
it did. And but yeah, so tonight we're celebrating 40 years of this movie. It came out in 1981. We're not exact to the month, okay, but it's 40 years celebration, and it's one of those movies where, because it's one of the best movies Sean Connery ever did, it's one of those movies you really have to watch. So if you have your own copy, get ready. We'll give you a countdown.
Yeah.
When you sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, if you're in the United States, it is available for rental on Amazon, so you can absolutely join in with us. So
indeed,
my apologies.
It's a lot more well known now than it used to be. I should also mention as well, Ralph has a tea store.
Well, thank you.
I actually should get that on the screen. Tea. What's it?
It is okay. Yeah, the Teespring changed their URL, so it is. They call me Ralph. .creator-spring.com.
That's nice, isn't it, to do that?
Yeah. So who knows? I may
when
just.
You go to you need to get on another site, because when you go to Teespring, there's no search function to find.
Yeah, I may switch sites, or I may just get a custom URL. I'm not sure.
Just get a custom URL that links to it, and then I can give that custom URL out.
Yeah, but yeah, if you feel like going there, I'm going to be rotating things through, and of course the holidays are coming up. So,
and there's a lot of new material.
Yes, although I need to reorganize everything because it's got Biden double barrel shotgun stuff all at the top. So it's like I've got to figure out what they're doing to me.
We're both holding the I shouldn't really say this. We're both holding the weapon right now, won't we, Ralph?
Well, that's because you're the star.
It is a little bit
I'm your deputy.
Phallic, isn't it, really? Up like that with a firm grip.
You say that, but I'm in Texas. I'm surrounded by weapons in the bunker here. Come on.
I've got a cutlery drawer over there.
I'm drinking my black coffee.
Potato peeler.
Drinking my black coffee, surrounded by 45 auto 1911. I'm eating bacon. So
I'm drinking liquid Liberty, and I'm eating a bacon sandwich made out of a copy of the Constitution.
Exactly. Yes.
It's delicious. I'm telling you now.
It tastes like freedom. All right.
Yep. Meanwhile, in Britain, please, sir, may I have some more?
May I have another?
Please, sir, can I breathe?
Oi, mate, you got a license for that boiled potato?
Oi, mate, you got a license for that license? Anyway,
okay. So I'm sorry. No more sidetracking.
Now, and we've got a little video which tells you when to start your copy.
Yeah.
This little video has 3, 2, 1, then arrows shoot up everywhere, and when you see the arrows, you press play on your copy. And so throughout the show, we'll give you timestamps if we can remember, and we're not too drunk. And we'll talk about what's going on.
Too drunk.
Yeah, and we'll probably pass out at some point. But if we don't, we'll give you a lot of inside information about stuff. And if you like that, and a lot of people do seem to like it, a lot of views, a lot of subscribers. We're heading almost to 2,000 subs soon. We're going to do a special show on that very, very soon. But in the meantime, a special thank you to all our subscribers from America and from India and from Canada and from Britain, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, everywhere else you're watching. Thank you very much for subscribing to this channel. We hope you enjoy the content. By all means, leave a like, share the video, leave a comment, and please subscribe.
Absolutely. We appreciate all of you. Love hearing from you. And if you have suggestions, things you'd like to like
Yes,
to
indeed.
see. You know, scotches you'd like me to drink and fall out of my chair drinking, please let us know.
Yes, and at the end of the show, we'll send you a special PO box address to send stout to, and also write your answer on the back of a crate of stout and send it to.
That's right. I'm an
Right.
ale guy myself, so
Yes, beer is the new currency because it looks like both the American dollar and the English pound are going to be worth jack. Yeah.
dude, I invested in Bic lighters for when the apocalypse hit. I didn't know it was going to be beer.
Well, I'm learning how to saute. Well, I'm learning how to cook rats in about 100 different ways. Because it looks like I'm going to be barbecuing a rat out of an empty 1980s television set, just like Terminator.
Yeah, I was about to say the Terminator scene. Yes, perfect.
Oh, right. So, without further ado, because we've had a lot of ado already,
Yes.
Tony says here, we are on the verge of another lockdown. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Tony. That's a little
Oh
bit
gosh,
now.
Tony. Yeah, dude. Really, seriously, if I could get you out of there,
Yeah.
I would.
And
Because
Tony, we've already done Mad Max 2, so maybe we'll do Mad Max 3, Tony.
Yeah,
Beyond the Thunderdome. Let's do Beyond the Thunderdome at some point, just for Tony.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, yeah. Or Tony, if you've got a different one you want, throw it in the chat. We'll see if we can cook it up instead. But yeah,
let's get it on the Barbie, man.
Thunderdome may be
Crocodile
the way to go.
Dundee, the original one. The second one's shot.
Yeah, the second one. No, we don't talk about the second one.
Can't talk about Dundee too.
My Australian friends are not happy if I bring out shrimp on the Bobby.
No.
Yeah, no, they don't find that fun.
It's like Foster's. Nobody drinks Foster's in Australia. Nobody drinks Foster's.
No, nobody drinks Foster's in the U.S. Why does Foster's even exist? I mean, short of just commercials where nobody drinks. That's right. He's a raggedy man. Raggedy man. Yes,
just a
man.
Raggedy
Tony.
man.
Tina Turner. Man.
Steamy windows.
You deserve a wrench just for being able to pull all those out, man.
Another hero. Anyway, let's get on with the show.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we probably ought to get everybody going. Sorry.
So let's do it. So I'm going to start the countdown now. And then when you see the arrows come up, press play on your VHS or Betamax player. Here we go.
Alrighty.
3, 2, 1.
There you go. So simple, even a boomer can do it.
Oh, dude, I've got gobs of tape coming out of the front of my Betamax. Is that bad?
Have you taped over the erase?
Oh, it's Night Court. Oh, I put my Night Court video in. Oh, jeez. Oh, Mr. Plinkett. No. I've got
I
Mr.
left my
Plinkett.
Max Head. I've just taped over my Max Headroom tape, you see.
Now, I had... Oh, no. Please not that. All right. I had the Lad Company.
Oh, I got the title.
Same thing.
Connery. So, the Lad Company, Mad Lads, was an English production company, but it was distributed through Warner, I think. So here's the cast. Should quickly run through the cast. So we have Sean Connery, plays Marshal William T. O'Neill. Peter Boyle, let you do it. That was a little bit too retard.
Yeah, sorry. I went full. I meant to pull it back to 11.
That was just, never go full. So he plays Shepard. I'm coming for you, Shepard. He plays the head honcho. Francis Sternhagen plays Dr. Lazarus. James Sicking is Sergeant Montone, who's second in command to Sean. Kika Markham plays Sean Connery's wife, Carol O'Neill. Clark Peters is Officer Ballard, who was a corporal there. Stephen Burkhoff, who's a crazy English actor, plays Sagan, one of the miners. And I won't go any further because there's a couple of other little stars I would love to introduce when they come up.
Yeah, now, interesting thing was this was filmed under the working title I.O., And unfortunately, when they started putting that out, initially it was referred to as low. And so, because Americans are stupid, they changed the title to Outland. So,
which is a decent title.
Yeah, it's a good title. And for folks that aren't astronomy geeks, Io is a small moon from Jupiter, which you're getting the information anyway. You get a
1/6 of the gravity of Earth.
Exactly. You get a plot dump up front. Now, bringing this up, the mining colony here is miniatures. So mainly what we're going to see in this for special effects is miniature work. You are going to see front screen projection, back screen projection, and a mix with everything with actors, with miniatures and everything.
Which is called?
That would be Introvision.
Yes.
And so, it's...
which hasn't been used again since, but I think it started the ball rolling in other areas anyway.
Well, and it should, because, Kubrick used front screen projection for 2001. It makes sense that they would, expand on the technology.
It's funny you should mention that, because the director, Peter Hyams, of this movie went on to direct 2010, Space Odyssey.
Oh, which is, personally, I still remember that, and I really enjoyed that movie at the time. I need to watch it again to see if it holds up from, teenage Ralph's memory or not.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get this Introvision thing now, Ralph, because... And the way it's structured, the concept of everything was meant to look like oil rigs, where it was on stilts.
Makes sense.
Because of the sulfurous environment. We've got a flash. We've got a wild flash in the stream here, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming in hot. It's coming in hot. There he is. Yes, Jardin.
When I hear Thunderdome, I know that's code for Zadot.
Hello. Well, it's just arrived on the shuttle. Hello there, Mr. Flash.
I hope you've got your codpiece on correctly for this one.
It's riding up a bit. I should probably use some manscaping materials before
you should talk.
I've got a roll of duct tape if you want to try and Brazilian your way through that.
Scented talc is helpful.
Just walking's giving me a Brazilian. Oh. I don't think this is how you wear suspenders.
Suspenders and a codpiece should never go together. No, I completely agree.
Yeah, unless you want to be in the government as a health minister. Tony says the Lad Company indeed reminds me of Blade Runner, Police Academy. Yeah. There's a whole lot of tie-ins here. Stephen Burkop is always a crowd pleaser. He is crazy, man. He's been in loads of movies. We'll talk about him later in a minute. Miniatures they should have filmed on site. Weak. Yes, God damn it. So gone to Io.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
FX we'll still stands James Cameron. That's the kind of thing he would do.
But what do you think?
Well,
what do you
exactly.
Think
2010 A Space Odyssey, they were aiming for Jupiter and Io. I don't see why they couldn't have done it for this too.
Well, no, exactly. And what do you think of this intro sequence, though? Because that still holds up now, doesn't it?
I agree. I mean, if you look closely, you can tell it's miniatures, but the work is phenomenal.
And immediately you can see the similarity with Alien, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does have a very alien feel to the environment. And I think
Space 2099.
Well, and there's
the same model makers, right?
Exactly. Yeah, Bowers was a model maker for Space 1999. Excellent
there it is. Look at this.
Oh, there you go.
That is the spacesuit, which was designed by the same guy who did the models for the costumes for Alien and Star Wars.
And I'm sorry. I got to bring this up here. We're at 6:45 in the movie, and I have to point out that kids having a strand of LED Christmas lights around the inside of your helmet is going to ruin your night vision. This is done specifically so you can see the actor's face. It's great for the screen, terrible for tactical work. Don't do this.
Well,
All
So
right,
you're
I'm
saying all
sorry.
those shots they made on Battlestar Galactica were all pure luck?
Well, they missed the Cylons a
gotta be
lot.
right sometime.
Yeah. Every now and then a Starbuck hits a wild Cylon.
By the way, we're only a few minutes into the movie, and already we have the man of 1,000 movies who's
Yeah.
appeared, who's in
Deep in the grass.
everything.
Yeah,
John Ratzenberger.
and he is deep in the grasp of space meth right now.
So was he just living in London in the early 80s? So he was just in everything filmed in London? They
Boom!
needed an
Oh,
American
sorry,
guy?
guys.
I'm
7
not
minutes,
sure.
51
I'm not sure.
seconds.
I think he was. I think he's just follows people around whenever there's a movie being made. But yeah, there's an explosive decompression.
Yeah, he just exploded in his spacesuit. Holy moly, guys!
It's horrible. It happens a few times, but it's actually not true, and it doesn't actually happen. By the way,
Yeah, but they're not really on IO.
they're on low.
On low.
But yeah, so that was John Ratzenberger who appeared and
Hold on, let
disappeared.
me fire up my Commodore 64 and check my. It's not email because that's not been invented yet.
No, this is.
I swear I wasn't playing Pong. I was investigating crime.
This is face. In the year 2032, we decided to go back to CRT television.
Oh, I miss those green screens very
It's
much.
like Red Dwarf, where eventually we go back to using VHS tapes.
What do you mean go back to? Some of us still do.
Tony says the Lad Company title card is the beginning of Blade Runner. Yeah, I thought it reminded me. It's a classic. It's a lovely like little intro thing that's in some really famous movies. And the Lad Company did produce some fantastic. And there's a lot of tie-ins with other films like Blade Runner. We've mentioned Aliens, Star Wars. The spacesuits were not only made by the same guy who did them for Alien, but the spacesuits in this movie were recycled and reused in the intro sequence for Aliens. The guys who salvaged the pod with Ripley are actually wearing the same costumes, and one guy's got the name on of one of the miners who's just been in that scene.
Oh, no way.
So cheap. Couldn't be asked to bring new costumes in. I've got some great props here, by the way. You can buy all of these props if you're interested. And I might just have to do that. Where are we now? Here we go. Outland patch. What do you think of those?
Oh, I recognize that one from Sean Connery.
Oh, yes.
You know what? Hold on a minute. They're reusing costumes and set and stuff. Is this a Roger Corman production? Did you pull me into this one, Pete?
But I think what's really great about this is the look of it, and like there's a common fan movement which says, well, look, this movie, because it shares so much of the look of Alien, there's a common fan fiction theory that this is existing in the same universe timeline as the Aliens movies. And this is at the same time.
Yeah, the atmosphere is very, very similar. I mean, all the way down to, Aliens is space truckers, basically, and the miners. Yeah, everybody's wearing a trucker cap.
And they're truckers that are delivering ore from mine.
Hold on. Gotta avert my eyes. We got man butt here. Where's
I don't know where you're up to because I'm at 11 minutes 20. Are you a little bit ahead of
just
me?
now hit 11:20. No.
All right, yeah, I'm a couple of seconds. But this is pod life. This is downtown San Francisco.
Yeah. Eat the bugs. Sleep
Eat the bugs. Live in a pod. And
I hope those are dried crickets.
Oh, nice. Is that what you're opening now? Packet of those.
Yeah.
So the grime, the grit, the grot, it makes it look real. They put a lot of effort into the costumes and the designs, the patches, to make it look real, like a real police department, a real mining colony. As Flash said, it's so similar to Alien because it's a mining installation. They're mining titanium.
Hold on.
Oh, hang on. Peter Boyle, bless your soul. You can see that in the background, the way this film builds suspense is you're always seeing the shuttle countdown in the background all the time. And towards the end of the movie, that becomes really significant. But so Marshall O'Neill, Federal Marshal O'Neill's just started in his new job here, and they think he's just going to roll with the punches and just do what he's told and not rock the boat. And that's in this scene here. The guy who runs the whole facility, Shepard, is sort of saying to him, I run the show here, you do what I tell you. And already you get a bit of a head-to-head here in this scene.
Yeah, I can tell you from the trailer park manager world, when somebody tries to take over your meeting and control the dictation, yeah, they're trying to assert their alpha chadness.
Right. So
I'll give him. He's got a good beard, so he's got the testosterone pouring out of his flesh at the moment.
Oh man! So the guy to Sean's left there is the he was in Hill Street Blues amongst other things. James Sicking, he plays Sergeant Montone, who is pretty much just gets a paycheck for looking the other way.
The guy that gets pranked by Kirk or Scotty in Star Trek 3.
Yes, what good
Captain
memory
Haddock.
was in that. Yeah, Search for Spock.
Another thing that you can spot on this one, as far as the 80s, is everybody smokes.
Yeah.
So, it's,
which they would if they were in this environment. They would be smoking joints and everything. They would be, which is what we find out, don't we?
It's got two things. Number one, it releases the stress so you don't kill everybody, and number two, it provides a smoky atmosphere.
By the way, have you seen the metal version of the shutter doors there? I love that touch. Did you see the shutter doors?
Oh, I missed that.
The Western
you just need a guy in the
yeah.
corner playing the piano who suddenly stops.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm looking for Jed Magruder.
All right,
Where
he's
are we at movie now?
So timestamp, we're just going to come up on 15 minutes in 2 seconds, 1 second now, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the decompression elevators. So you've got to these spacesuits. You're in your spacesuit here, but you go in the lift or elevator, and the elevator decompresses on the way down to the lower levels, like hundreds of feet below where they're mining titanium. You can see how films like Avatar rip this off as well.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to give it to them. This is a very, very good job of world building because they're thinking through how would the miners go about their day-to-day operation.
Mm-hmm.
How would they be set up? How would they prep before they go down to mine?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is all nice touch. I'm impressed with them. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of work put into the costumes, the environment. It's untypical of sci-fi movies. It's not about monsters. It's not about incredible galactic events or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's purely the reality of what would it look like if man was in space. What would it be? And sadly, this is what it would be like.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Star Trek.
And we're not getting it from one character saying, as you know, we're mining here on Io.
Yeah. And this is honestly, this is the practicality of everyday life. And it's about the human story. It's about struggling to make a living.
Yeah.
And, all of the health concerns and all of the crime and corruption. And, well, I don't want to talk too much about that yet because we're going to find out something. Why is this guy gone into the decompression if without spacesuit on?
Yeah, because everybody knows, they've got to stop him now, but they can't get
That's
Too
to him.
late.
No.
Yeah, nice miniature work here,
This
and
is fantastic
yeah,
work.
blending into the scene. Very, very
Mhm.
well done.
This
And
is
not
the
just a
work.
miniature. These are bigatures. These things are like 9 feet long and like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I say
Mhm.
miniature, but yeah, you're exactly right. They're not. It's not like they put together a tester's model kit of this. Excellent work on it.
And you feel the building of suspense again. What's going to happen at the other end? The music's really building up that tension and fear.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that out. The musical score really adds to that very well, and it's almost, they're emphasizing the one. You've almost got a ticking clock with that, and an excellent aftermath shot. Very quick. You get the glimpse of it.
You
You
gotta see.
realize the impact, and then they move on quickly before you go, oh, whoa, it's a rubber suit. So
like I love those
good.
backlit too. Like the lighting is
Yeah.
so
Yes,
natural in the
yes.
movie. Like no glamorous lighting at all.
And again, reminiscent of Alien and Blade
Mhm.
Runner and all of the movies that were made. I mean, this movie has all of the hallmarks of all of the most famous sci-fi movies, and it's got the pedigree of everyone who worked on all of the most amazing sci-fi movies, and yet it's a cult classic, but yet it's still not that well known as it should be.
No,
It
but
took years to really get recognized.
yeah, yeah. And so far, I mean, we're 18 and a half minutes into it, and the atmosphere is great.
Yeah.
I have bought in. I believe that, yes, this is a functional world. The world
Mhm.
building in this is fantastic.
Well, it kind of just looks like an office building after dark, like, as opposed to like crazy space stuff.
Right. It comes
Yeah.
down to it's
Like,
functional.
because the lighting is just so natural looking and the shadows are so heavy. It's like, yeah, it's kind of what you get in a normal work environment.
Yeah,
Right.
it's meant to look like an oil rig and it's meant to look
Mm-hmm.
like mechanic. And they deliberately exposed all of the mechanics so you could see everything working and, steam and
Well,
petrol and everything.
yeah, and to be fair, I mean, in an environment like this, it's going to be function. They're not going to be worried about how fantastic it looks. You're
Mm,
going to have exposed wiring. You're going to have.
mhm,
Long story short, you have to be able to access things for maintenance.
mhm,
So yeah, it so
mhm,
far
mhm,
logically it all makes sense.
mhm,
So
mhm.
fantastic job.
Exactly. Martin Bauer did the models for this, and he worked on all of the most famous sci-fi movies of the day, and you'll see his shuttle model coming up at the end of the movie, which is again incredible,
Oh
just
yeah,
like
absolutely.
exactly like something out of Alien or out of 2001 or 2010 Space Odyssey.
Well, and
um
I recognize it. It's similar to Space 1999, but
yeah, that
yeah,
was that's another story. That's an amazing TV series that only now people are starting to recognize, because again, a lot of British stuff is
yeah,
quite niche. So, because the British aren't great at advertising when they do movies, we're not natural salesmen. So he's just got a message there from his wife, who's decided to leave him with their son, because the environment's too hostile to them. The son and the wife just can't take it anymore, and that's part of the story of this guy's personal journey, where he's found himself playing a part in playing his grimy part in a grimy system in a grimy world, and
absolutely.
this is his journey out of that, really.
Well, and I'd like to point out Martin Bowers also did the miniatures for Flash Gordon, which is another movie that we reviewed and did a movie watch of
Yes.
earlier. So I'm challenging Pete right now. Put a link up here in the upper left or upper right hand corner so that you can click and go back and see that movie.
Yeah, if you want to watch, hang on, I'm going into my little studio here. Content.
Yeah, no, you'll have to do it after the fact, I think.
No, I'll stick it in now. Why not? Why not? Flash, we've only got, what is it, 20 minutes to save the Earth? I can't remember now. That was a good stream. I'll just sling that in there.
That was
There
fun,
we
yeah.
go. That link will take you to Flash Gordon. So we should actually say what Tony has to say. Miniatures, they should have filmed them. Yes, they should.
Yes, yeah.
The Line Company, yes. And also he said, well, they are a salvage crew. He was talking
There you
about the similarity between these movies and the Alien movies. They're almost
With the
identical.
advances in like 3D printing, there's really no excuse not to do miniatures.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the thing we're covering in this whole season of movies from 1981 is the practical effects and the way it looks. It's a real world, as Ralph and you said, Flash. It looks real. It's everything. It smells real. You can smell the smells as you watch this movie. It just comes across.
Yeah,
doesn't
nobody uses deodorant on this space station.
Yeah.
Oh
no. And but fortunately, they don't crap on the street like they do in LA.
No.
Power Beard
We're
Tony
civilized.
says, and he says quite rightly, 14 hours to save the Earth.
Indeed, yes.
Gordon's alive. That's another story, though. So who's this actress here? This is the actress who is still alive at the age of 91. Who plays the amazing title of a character, Dr. Lazarus. What a title.
That's a great name, yeah.
Francis Sternhagen. Now, interestingly, earlier we saw John Ratzenberger, who played Cliff Clavin in Cheers. And guess what? Francis Sternhagen played his mom in Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Mom Clavin.
Hold on a minute. Is it Woody and Ted going to show up here soon?
Probably. But yeah,
Ted Danson was busy dying in a fire at this time on Laverne and Shirley.
Oh yeah. I guess we'll have Frasier show up later on.
Yeah, but look at the design here and the detail. We're back to San Francisco pod life again.
Well, you can tell an obvious difference in the medical facility versus the actual pod life for the general miners.
But 1981. Well, exactly. Sorry, Ralph, I've talked over you.
No, go right ahead.
Well, just very quickly, 1981 was a very big year for Sean Connery, not just movies. But in the same year, he was also in. It was a peak of his career. In my opinion, he was also in Time Bandits. Remember that? We've done that.
That was a fun movie. Yeah.
Yep. And he actually, another movie that we're going to celebrate later this year, Chariots of Fire, same year. Sean had a cameo role in that movie that he missed because this movie went over schedule. Nightmare. So he lost out in being in Chariots of Fire.
Okay, spoiler alert, fans. All I remember from that is dun 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 dun. Yeah, exactly. It's like I watched the movie one time. I was like,
I bought the single, Vangelis.
Yeah, there you go. That was it.
Ding, 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 ding. So here we have. This is the actor who Terry.
Space Myth. Space Myth.
Yeah, it's a Space Myth.
Just say no, kids.
Could you have a more elaborate meth gun?
Yeah, that's a pretty serious injection thing there.
So it's like the 1940s, like vaccination.
It is, isn't it? It's pretty serious.
Yeah, wait for cattle to line up and get injected.
Like an infrared sight.
That's what they gave stuff to when my dad went in the Navy. He had a picture of one like going into his arm. And they just had that big air gun, just like, whoosh, next.
Oh, there you go.
Your dad was lucky.
Maybe he likes that.
Yeah, I thought everybody had to line up buck naked and get it in the arm.
No. The pictures they took were them getting it in the
arm. Okay, gotcha. Hello, sailor.
The other 20 shots they had to take were probably other places.
Oh, please. Suppositories. For all the good these things do me, I might as well stick them up my ass. Stephen Burkhoff is who we saw earlier, who was, like Tony was saying earlier, amazing English actor, crazy as anything, really crazy. Amazing performances, who was also a playwright and an author as well, very talented man. But this Stephen Burkhoff plays Sagan, and that's the only movie at the time where he didn't play a character whose name ended in "ov."
Yes,
Because you might remember him from other movies like Rambo 2. So first of all, let's say that he was in a TV series where he played a character called Kozlov. He was also in The Professionals, that Tony will remember, TV series. He played a character called Krasnov. He was General Orlov in Octopussy. And he also played General Podovsky in Rambo Part 2. So
okay, yeah, completely
Bozovs.
broke it there. He's a ski guy. All right, yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And he's,
let's see. Rambo Part 2 was "I'm coming to get you."
by the way, he was in Beverly Hills Cop as well. He played Victor Maitland in Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, really? I did not remember that.
And a movie we should do, which is one of the worst movies ever made, Revolution. He played the evil Sergeant Jones.
I don't remember Revolution.
It had Robert De Niro in it as well. Not Robert De Niro, sorry. The other guy.
The other Italian
Pacino.
Oh, you guys will have to introduce me to that one. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, it's an interesting movie, but it was a flop for a reason. It is bad in areas. It's got a huge cast, but it just didn't work. So,
I am 12 scotches in, so...
Oh, well, no worries. Don't worry. So, how far are we now? We are... Oh, by the way, he's in Clockwork Orange as well, yeah. So we're coming up on 29 minutes now, ladies and gentlemen. And we've just got to the point where Federal Marshal O'Neill has just got a call on his normal phone.
Got his shotgun.
Oh, the shotgun. You can buy all these props. And this shotgun is actually available, you know.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I don't think it's functional. But you can actually buy it. I'm just going to share the screen here.
I was going to say, usually if it's a prop in a movie, I wouldn't want it to be too functional.
No.
Otherwise, you'll wind up, you'll Brandon Lee your way through things. Uh-oh.
I can't find it here. It's on here somewhere. But there we are. There's the stunt shotgun.
Oh, nice.
It's not letting me share that there properly, but...
propstore.com?
Yeah. Propstoreauction.com, and this is because the stuff from all the movies comes up in auctions all the time, and you can buy. I didn't realize there was a huge business in collecting real props from movies, but obviously some of them really
So there are people that love that stuff. See, nice.
Here we are. Here we are, where where we've got the scene where. Well, Sagan, the character of Sagan, has gone completely off his head. There is a typical performance.
Yeah, man, he's going like he's at Burning Man.
Yeah, and he's beaten the prostitute up a bit, but he's gone really, really crazy. Now they don't have to kill him at this point; they just want to arrest him. Sean's character just wants to arrest him. But the other guy's crawling through the air duct there. That's another reference to Alien, by the way, crawling through the air ducts.
Yeah, and it fits very well, yeah.
Because one of the taglines for this movie was, the most dangerous enemy in space is still man.
I think that's fitting. He's actually a pretty good hostage negotiator. I'm going to open the door.
There we go. There's the gun.
Nice.
Now, what I think about the gun is all of this technology, right? And This movie, the police have guns like that. That tells me that in this future, guns are almost unheard of, to the point that the only gun you can get is something really basic like that. Because
Well,
guns are so controlled, there is no with all these high-tech guns in futuristic films. It wouldn't be like that if you had a dystopian future, an authoritarian future. You would only be able to get guns like that, really basic guns, and only police would have them.
well, and that it kind of makes sense, and tying back to the Aliens universe, even though they're
Yeah,
using
all they had is a flamethrower.
well, they had a flamethrower and they were using guns that shot projectiles. So yeah, this kind of makes sense to me. To me, it's a logical move.
Here we go. Bang.
Boom.
So there was no need to do that. That's going to result in a court case.
Why didn't you taser him?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
There's a lot of paperwork now.
We're
It's
all going
on
to have
you.
to resign. This is terrible. You're
In that
looking
uncomfortable
between
silence. Oh, and
Yeah.
off to the morgue.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm sorry. This is the prostitute.
yeah, this
because
is the prostitute's going to go into the advanced scanning machine, which many years later a movie called Elysium would rip off.
Ooh, yeah. And
But in this movie, it's just two fluorescent tubes. Remember fluorescent tubes?
I do indeed. Yes.
Every garage
back in the
had them.
day. And for those of you listening at home, I'm not pulling an Ethan Ralph. This is my
No.
chair.
I've seen pictures of the new chair. It's immense.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm immense. What can I say?
So John Mollo did the costumes and won 2 Oscars. He won an Oscar for Star Wars and for Alien. And he did the costumes for this movie. He did the costumes for almost every big sci-fi movie you can think of. And so he was brought in on this. The set designer, I couldn't find the information on the set designer, but I believe it was the same person who worked on the Alien movies and all of those movies as well, Blade Runner, which is why everything looks so real and believable.
Well, and that would also explain why it all feels like it's in the same world too.
Mm-hmm.
The director directed 2010 Space Odyssey as well as this movie. He also directed Time Cop with Van Damme. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, okay. It was like, oh, you were going so well until then.
Time Cop was the one where he's in the future with the mullet, right?
Yes, mullets make a comeback along with CRT televisions. The Relic, End of Days, Sound of Thunder.
You're not winning me over.
But
End of Days was another one that's like, oh.
Another movie did back before this in 75 was Capricorn. Sorry, 77 was Capricorn 1.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there's a similarity with the music.
Sir O.J. Simpson?
Yeah, but in this movie, there's none of the cast murdered their wife, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Now, the scene here is incredible with, again, very alien-esque, where he's going to the cargo containers. You see, you have all of the atmosphere, but the enemy, the monster is not a monster, it's man. So you're going right back to the heart of it. And this is why it's such an incredible rework of High Noon.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, gotta go off on a tangent here. This is what I love about 80s movies, 70s movies. They understood atmosphere, and I feel like a lot of movies, not all of them, there are some that get it right. So don't take it as a blanket statement, but a lot of them lose atmosphere. They don't understand how to build tension, how to draw the audience in. And this is doing a very good job of it.
Very, very true. And And here he's finding what we know. We're at we're coming up on 37 minutes.
Yeah.
He's finding the because the ship all the bodies out. She said before he can do anything on it. This is a dead body here. This wouldn't be pink. They didn't bother to make him look blue.
Yeah, he's a little healthy right now.
Nice and pink, but he's just come out of the shower.
Maybe it's what they use to preserve the bodies in the future.
Oh, that could be.
That could be one of them. Now he's not injecting something in to this person. He's taking blood out.
Are you sure he's not giving him a space roofie?
No, he's not giving him any form of. We won't go anywhere near that.
Yeah. Pretty sure you don't do a blood draw from the larynx. I'm not a doctor, but.
By the way, the only criticism I've got. Oh, there we go. The only criticism I've got of this movie is that the blood just doesn't look real. Look at this blood. It's like cranberry juice, really. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Only criticism.
All right. So, folks at home, if you're going to do blood, Cairo syrup is a good base. Red food dye, of course, and blood should be darker. So, arteries, more red. It's oxygenated. Yeah, that's a great point. Some coffee grounds or cocoa is a good mix in to try and give it the right consistency and look.
As in the term blood red.
Yes.
It's a type of pigment when you're using in art. It's like a browny red.
Yeah.
Which is the iron in the blood, which gives it that color, the hemoglobin, but the brown as well, because the iron stuff.
This looks kind of like Kool-Aid or Jell-O. So, yeah.
And if you do cut yourself and it ends up and it drops into water, you'll see how the blood sticks together. As in the term, blood is thicker than water.
Ooh, nice. I feel like that should be a segue into something.
Unfortunately not. That whole build-up for nothing. So, apart from the fact that they're analysing the blood now, gentlemen, we're at 39 minutes and brilliant performance here. Brilliant performance by Frances Sternhagen, who is really critical of herself because she's found herself in this bumhole place because of the fact she probably made a mistake in her medical history. This character's ripped off later on, by the way, in Alien 3. But she's discovering a new molecule here, and it turns out to be an amphetamine.
Ooh, like space
meth. Yes.
All I'm going to say is trailer number 17, I've got my eye on you.
So this is the compound here. I forget what they call it, but it's a meth, which an amphetamine which causes the miners to feel on top of the world, totally invulnerable, because they're able to do much more work, which is beneficial for the company. So the plot is starting to unravel here.
All right, hold on a minute. The actual amphetamine is called polydichloric euthiamol. And I'm saying that stone cold sober.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll work on that. So, but yeah. So long story short, they're hopping up miners to try and keep them going for longer shifts so they can get more titanium.
Yes. So what you're saying is huge global conglomerate corporations are administering drugs to people in order to make more money, despite the fact that it's lethal.
I would like to point out that none of us have said the word Amazon.
Well, let's just say that this is a movie and this never happens in real life.
Exactly. Man.
I'm glad this just happens in the movies, guys.
Exactly, man.
Oh, so glad.
You know what? But coming back to that, Oh gosh, what was the movie with Michael Keaton where he was the rep for a Japanese car maker?
Gung Ho.
Gung Ho, yes.
I was
Remember?
going to say it as a joke, but that's actually what you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because I specifically remember a scene where guys were peeing in jars on the line to try and save time. Same thing, slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Not, and I did not say Amazon.
Again. Tony says, all I can remember of Chariots of Fire is a bunch of chaps running on a beach to an amazing Vangelis soundtrack. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's about it, really. That sums up the entire movie, Tony.
Yeah,
down.
Exactly, Tony. Okay.
And he says, Hyams did the great buddy cop movie Running Scared and The Presidio with Connery. Yes, he did. Good knowledge.
Good, yeah.
You beat me to the punchline there, Tony. I was going to talk about the other movies, but yeah, he did. The
Yeah,
Presidio was a really good movie.
Yeah. And
Mark
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I'll have to look at the past.
What is it in there?
NCIS's Mark Harmon? I'm sorry.
It's a good question. Are you looking it up?
I can.
No.
Give me a minute.
But I'm guessing that's who's in it.
I can check that now.
Well, while you do that,
I'm going to check it. And on my CRT screen, everything's just give me the time because it takes time to download the images in green screen.
Yes, Mark Harmon was in the Presidio. Yes. I have a 300 baud modem. I'm a lot faster than you, Pete.
Get her.
Yeah, I'm throwing the shade here.
By the way, this is this sort of copulation dancing here on the bars. This is probably modern day San Francisco.
Yeah, I think we could pretty much say this is set in San Francisco in 2030.
This is like high school dance teams now.
Yeah. Oh, and I was going to say boomer moment. Yeah, Tony brought up Chariots of Fire again, and brought up he only remembers one scene of them running. On the beach. I remember that scene. I also remember the scene where they were throwing the discus, where they had been training with bigger discus than what the Olympic Committee chose.
We want to talk about. Are we talking about Life of Brian though? Bigger discus. He ranks very highly in Rome.
No. The thing you throw. So
right.
Anyway.
Well,
yeah.
Well, if you're Frankenpenis's wife, then it was called Working Class Man in Australia. Tony says, yes.
Okay. Biggest discus.
And by the way, Tony says I'm 40% titanium. Yes, good quote, good memory.
All right, but anyway, that was the long
Presidio. Yeah, I was going to say Presidio. Sorry about bad time. I didn't want to offend you, Tony. I said Presidio when it was Presidio.
Yeah,
Mark Harmon. Yes.
And I'm sorry, the boomer moment was just to go with that. Dad Blame song was everywhere. You couldn't get away from it.
We're at 45 and a half minutes, and here we are that Marshall O'Neill, Sean Connery's character, has just seen his second in command, Montone, sit down with Shepard, and this is the moment where about just over a third of the way in, and this is the moment where Sean realizes they're all sitting down together. The two guys who he's identified as criminals employed by Shepard specifically to push the drugs on all of the workers. So now he knows full well that he is on his own. The entire thing is sewn up. He can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
So this is the moment he realizes he's on his own completely.
Exactly. And kind of the, I don't want to say the net closing in around him, but he realizes that, just like you said, he can't trust anyone. So his world, his safety is getting smaller and smaller.
Exactly. Tony talked about having a good memory but a bad internet. It was called Working Class Man in Australia.
Okay.
Different title.
I didn't realize that. That's excellent to know.
So there you go. There you go, man. Different title.
Oh, and O'Neill is confronting his partner now.
By the way, in the future, everybody reverts to wearing 1970s sweatbands.
And playing racquetball.
You know what?
Do you know,
I'm only going back to the point where we wear leg warmers. I draw the line at headbands.
Occasionally, the grime application is a bit too obvious. So in this squash court here, you can just see they've just arbitrarily put grime around the place.
Yeah.
So it's a bit overdone in parts, but it's more real. It's still more real than Star Wars, where everything's shiny.
Well, that and everything.
Star Trek. Sorry, I meant to say Star Trek. Please forgive me, gods of sci-fi.
Are we going to have to get a tip jar for Star Trek so that every time if one of us says that, somebody's got to throw in a $5?
Well, it's like Alcoholics Anonymous. There are support groups.
I'm 30 days since my last Star Trek reference. Hi, my name is Ralph.
I started watching Enterprise. I had such high hopes.
Hi, my name is Ralph. I'm a Trekkie.
So I'll just reference Airplane 2 from now on.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
These uniforms are reminiscent of Airplane 2.
That dialogue, I've heard it before.
He did a video recently where he listened to people doing impressions of him, and the only person he really liked was Chris Pine. For the obvious reason that Chris Pine makes him look good.
Well, yeah, of course.
Tony says the end credits has the Aussie legend Jimmy Barnes song "Working Class Man," so it was an easy one.
Oh, I've got to dig that one out, man. It's been forever since I've watched it. So yeah, thank you for taking me back on that, Tony.
So
I'm sorry to the detriment of all the other hosts on this.
One of these two baddies who were the drug pushers is Patrick Swayze's Patrick Stewart. We're going about the Star Trek again.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Yeah, there's a slight difference.
Some drugs, number one.
Swayze's younger brother, I think, looks like Patrick Swayze anyway. Dear me, there's a conspiracy. I think there's something in the water to make you like Star Trek.
I'm the one that's drunk, not you.
Star Trek hypnotism. So there's been the switcheroo of the drugs, and of course Jerry Goldsmith, who we're talking about earlier. He is Swayze-esque, definitely.
Yeah.
Eyes like a snake.
Yeah. I like the way there's an emphasis as well on the CCTV.
Yeah.
Because he's making full use of that to track these people.
Shotgun.
Oh, shotgun.
Okay. Two things on the Swayze thing. You got the headband, you got the mullet. He's ready to go, man.
Absolutely. So Tony says it's a fun movie. This is a really good movie, honestly. And it's constant activity. There's never any break. It's just he's always on the go throughout the entire movie. And they make full use of the set. The camera's following the guys through this complex. The camera is always moving, following somebody moving from one place to the next.
And that is a fantastic point we've not brought up is the cinematography on this, because the camera work is very, very good.
Yeah, because the space station feels big.
Yeah.
It never feels like a set. It feels like a giant building.
Exactly. It feels like a giant building, but everything still feels cramped.
Yeah. You always see the ceiling. It's always closing in on you.
Yeah.
You just imagine it stinks and it's hot and sweaty and steamy. And so here we go, the chase scene between Sean and one of the drug pushers.
Yeah, come back here. I'm ancient.
Come back here. I just want to ask you about if you've ever said no. Just say no.
Just say no. Nancy said so. He slipped in his space boots.
And I mean, these little cramped sets are reminiscent of Blade Runner as well as Alien, and the way the cameras pan, as you said there. But they pull the camera low on the floor as well,
Yes,
so there's a
yeah.
variety, and they're moving, twisting around, which is something they did extensively with Alien 3. They did that through the tunnel sequences, and the way the camera tilts as well. So I'm pretty
it's very
sure that
reminiscent of the cinematic classic Super Mario Brothers.
yes, which was filmed on a tiny little set like this, which
John Leguizamo's best
they're
work.
remaking that as well. They're going to remake it. I hope it's as crap as the original.
It's going to be
I do
worse
too. I
than
hope
the
it's
original. We'll pine for the days of Bob Hoskins.
Yes. Oh, bless him. I
being
saw
replaced
Outland.
by Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah, that's going to work.
Is it going to
Tony,
be a cartoon or is it live action?
no, it's live
It's
action.
live
Tony,
action.
it's going to be a
No.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Tony says, I saw Outland in high school. It was one of the weekend video hires in grade 8 for a bunch of 13-year-olds. No one was bored. Yeah, it's exactly the right age. And you know what it is? It's about 13 years. I think I saw Aliens. I was 11 or 12. I saw Aliens as a kid. Now I've given my age away, but actually, I didn't say how long the movie's been out for.
Well, yeah.
But these tunnel sequences as well, everything about this movie was ripped off for Alien 3. Yeah, I mean, so much plagiarism, isn't there? This was the original, which has been stolen from, I would say, more than.
But the thing is, they were smart enough to steal from good people. You know,
Yes.
good sets, good design, good directors. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a credibility factor, isn't it? And here we go into the kitchen where he's chasing them down, and this fight scene is quite scary actually, because he's using because the kitchen's full of horrible things that can hurt you. Yeah. He tried to get the drugs out of the boiling pot, and now he's going to try and kill him with, I don't know what, jar of something.
Ranch dressing.
Yeah. Oh, into the fries.
Oh,
that oil needs changing. Goodness me.
Yeah, that's some terrible oil.
That's some funky oil.
Oh, solar plexus, Falcon Punch.
I hate the French.
Those are freedom fries.
You're going to show them what James Bond moves here. Look at this.
Ooh, ow, into the bread maker.
Oh, look at that. Oh, no, he's got a steak knife.
Oh, no, not. Ow. Oi, mate. Get a spoon.
Shit.
Get a spoon.
Terrible.
Now I've got tetanus. Oh,
there we go.
Oh,
so,
punched him in the family jewels.
Yes, he used the old technique I learned on You Only Live Twice.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
now you see this comparison here is between this and the earlier scene. Think it over, you punk. And the comparison there is that he wasn't prepared to kill him, even though he deserved to die the way he was trying to kill him.
Exactly.
He gave him a chance. Yeah, he's a proper cop, which means he's got morals. He's got integrity.
Well, and I'm sorry, I got to come back to an earlier point where you were bringing up the weapons they were using. A shotgun is an excellent weapon because it close range, it's very effective, and you don't have to be a marksman to use it. So him shooting from the hip is actually semi.
And the ones they're using are sort of like little door breaker kind of things too.
Yeah, exactly. They're sawed off.
Confined space.
Yeah, they're using shells with a low charge or something. I've read in background is that it's short because, and this comes up later in the movie. You want a short-range weapon which is low-powered enough to do enough damage short-range. You don't want something that's going to puncture the walls of a space station.
Exactly.
Kill everybody.
Now, I love the cells that they just put them in a suit, pop them in there, and they're zero grav, zero atmosphere. That's an interesting take on that.
Yes.
You'll pee your pants for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Good luck when you've got to go number 2.
Yes. Good luck finding your ash with both hands.
You'll find it by the smell.
Oh dear. So
Golf
So, yeah.
clubs? Wait a minute. What's
Here
he
he
doing?
goes.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And in
Gotta
the
be an
future,
evil
everybody
guy.
plays on a 1981 golf machine. They used to be in
Yeah.
all the catalogs, didn't they? They were at the back end of
Yeah.
the catalog. They were like the luxury gifts for dads. So like when dad was looking through the catalog because mom said, "Look, the kids want some toys for Christmas. Would you just look in the
They're the
catalog?
prop of
God's
every
sakes."
80s movie villain.
Well, and
I don't want to look in
exactly.
the
Evil banker
catalog.
has one of
They
those in his
came in the
office.
summer. They were in the summer catalog, though, weren't they? It was like, hey, if it's rainy outdoors, get yourself the new Golf-O-Matic 3000.
Yeah. Well, and that's a great point because, like Flash brought up, every evil baddie used the Golf-O-Matic
Yes.
3000. As soon as you saw that, it's like, okay, that's the bad guy.
Yep.
That's it. It's a
That's the
super
corporate
deluxe.
villain.
And Peter Boyle's rocking the dad bod
Yeah.
harder than David Harbour
Yeah.
did in
I'm just-
Hellboy.
I'm just looking for the bottle of Bell's whiskey on the side. That'll be there somewhere.
Oh,
That's the mark of a villain. You'll get Bell's and you'll get what else you get? Not Clever Archie. What was it?
Ooh! I gotta give him nice touch on the
Walkers. You get
miniature
a
of the
bottle of Walkers
miniatures.
on the side there. He's got no cigars though.
Yeah, he needs a cigar for sure. He'd be like Dr. Evil level bad guy if he had a cigar.
I don't know if Flash has noticed. You see the model in the background of the station.
I was
That's
right.
the actual one of the actual models they used for the model sequence.
I was pointing that out. Nope, exactly. A miniature of the miniature. Yes. It's Inception, man.
A film within a film within a film.
Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
you get the sense of space too, because you have the map of the station behind you.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Are you still there?
Mm-hmm.
I think Ralph's doped out. Ralph's had some mic issues earlier, and I think his mic's just cranked out. He's got it taped up with duct tape, and it's playing up. Ralph, your mic's still there.
okay, and I'm back. Sorry, I had to do a reset. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it's Inception there. It's like a miniature inside of a miniature inside of a miniature.
Yes. By the way, when you said math,
kind of people live in the space station, ants.
I hate the beard mind. I really do. I think I'm so glad that Peter Boyle didn't have a beard in any other role.
That's like an especially skeezy beard too. It's just
it really is.
Well, we were just coming out of the 70s when this happened, so beards were still
the eyeballs beard. It's just
no, dearie me!
Oh, gracious!
Raspberry jam all over the
Raspberry
place.
jam everywhere. Oh,
Can't believe it! What a waste of raspberry jam.
Who's putting dragon roots in the cell?
Blood. It's 0G, but the blood's dripping upwards.
Well, that's a nice touch, though. You know, cinematically, I'll forgive it for its inaccuracy.
It's pre-CG, so
it is
exactly
the floating droplets like Star Trek 6.
It's difficult to do all of this stuff. So hard to achieve these basic effects. So now he's looking through Montone's. We're at 1 hour. We're just over the 1 hour mark. He's looking through Montone's stuff. Oh, and there's Montone.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he's been garroted. Oh.
And his tongue's sticking out.
Okay, that's kind of disgustingly accurate. All right.
But you see why he's been moided, because he finally grew a conscience.
Yeah, can't do that.
And sent a coded message to.
Oh, they said
to him.
The goblub.
The blib blub. Food shipment. Food shipment. Oh, it's in the food.
It's in the
bloody food.
Egg.
Monotone.
Sean Connery was great at doing accents. Although I'm a Russian submarine captain. Although I'm a British secret agent. Although I'm an ancient Egyptian.
Yeah, Sam Neill, you're going to Montana, eh?
Yes, I'm a real American, me, like, oh, do you like a piece of haggis?
Nothing gets me more going in the morning than bacon and haggis.
Oh, yes. I like a
And
nice
his final
haggis at the
film role
ball
was
game.
a proper Englishman. With a very thick
So Patrick
Scottish
Swayze's trying to garrot him here, gentlemen.
Oh, man. His hairpiece is worse than Sean Connery's.
So there you go. He's has he passed out, gentlemen, or is it the fake pass out?
I don't know. It depends on if Patrick Swayze picks him up and does the dance that he does with Baby in the corner. Hold him up above your head. You can do it. 30 days in time.
No one puts Ramirez in a corner.
Oh,
All right, now I will give Patrick Swayze's mustache a 7 out of 10.
oh,
Quite nice.
it was the fake knockout. I'm
We're
actually
playing
not. There you
awesome.
go, you little swine. I wasn't. You didn't knock us out. By the way, look at this. This is 4D chess level. Look at that.
Oh,
No one's garroting me, sunshine.
Oh, that was smart.
Anti-garrot armor.
He was playing underwater 4D Settlers of Catan while
Look at this.
Was only playing chess.
Somebody's hidden all these ice popsicles in the.
In 30 minutes, those will make a
Which
lovely
sides of
pop.
pork are not kosher?
But they've got no sticks in them. How am I going to eat the
Look at all these
suckers?
pouches of Jello.
Oh, sadly, I remember these games from the 80s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was really like pre-computer tech, wasn't it? It was like. Anyway, so this is a great exchange between the two here. We're heading into the last third of the movie, which is just one huge build-up of suspense to the crescendo at the end. So this is the final confrontation before the end of the movie between these two, where he just comes out and says, guess what? I know everything now, and I'm going to bring it all down.
I'm going to spank your bottom there, Peter Boyle.
I'm coming for your whiskey.
You think you're afraid of fire?
By the way, this is the bit where a Scotsman gives the other guy advice on how to play golf. And Sean Connery loved his golf as well. You're not stupid. You're crazy. Tony said, plus low chance of a hull breach. Yes.
Yeah, coming back to our weapons
guns,
discussion.
yeah.
Exactly, yes. Grown-ups have no... well, I definitely don't. Unless I'm tanked, like I am right now.
Oh, well, here we are. So we're at... He's just said, you know what it is? You're a dead man.
Yeah, dead man. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, I'm doing a flapper girl accent for Peter Boyle.
I think I am as well. 1981, by the way, we did Time Bandits. We've done on this channel as well. You can see this on this channel if you want.
Yeah,
I'll show on that. Same year, and of course, around the same time, Never Say Never Again in '83.
Yeah,
the not James Bond movie, and then Highlander in '86.
Yeah, James Bond-ish. Never say never again.
Peter Boyle was in loads of stuff, but most of it was TV work, I think.
Gosh, yeah. Well, you know,
loads of stuff though.
Yeah, I'm stuck pulling him up on all the Mel Brooks stuff. I can't get past Young Frankenstein right now, but it's October. Frankenstein. Watch this way.
Hyams. Oh, this is really reminiscent of Aliens as well, when the cyborg hacks into the communication tower.
Yeah, they were.
Mean, this movie was really just ripped for all of the early Alien movies.
Yeah, and I'll give them. They were about a decade ahead of the fiber optic craze.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. Look at that fiber optic SCART lead.
Yep.
SCART leads. What happened to SCART leads? Anyway,
General
what happened to
Malaysia.
DVD players? Remember we used to have
Oh
DVD
my
players?
gosh! I'm sorry. I just had an SNL Jeopardy thing. The penis mightier. Sorry, it's just the font on that screen. Who cares how it's pronounced, man? Does it work?
So here we are, Hyams recalled. I wanted to do a Western. Everybody said, you can't do a Western. Westerns are dead. Nobody will do a Western. I remember thinking it was weird that this genre had endured for so long and was just gone. But then I woke up and came to the conclusion, obviously after other people, that was actually alive and well, but in outer space. I wanted to make it on a
Yes.
frontier, not the wonder of it or the glamour of it. I wanted to do something about Dodge City, how hard life was. I wrote it, and by great fortune, Sean Connery wanted to do the part. And how many chances do you get to work with Sean Connery? So that's
Oh no. Yeah, that's it. For most people. Well, I'm sorry. Most people in Hollywood that are high up, it's a once in a lifetime thing. You know, and I completely agree with him. And coming back to before we kick this off, you know, space is an excellent progression for the Western frontier, the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the success of oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank on Amazon's big thing they've got. Shucks. The Expanse.
Yeah, The Expanse. Yeah.
You know,
The Expanse
I think
definitely used this as for inspiration.
Yes. You know, and that's
when
it.
I watched this, I was definitely thinking this is definitely proto Expanse.
Yes.
But you were going to talk about the special effects as well, Ralph. What was the? Are we going to come to that when we see the shuttle, or?
Well, we can kind of cut to it. I mean, because we were talking about Martin Bowen's, or I'm sorry, Martin Bowers.
Yeah.
He did the miniatures. So you know, we've already seen the miniatures of the mining colony itself, and you know, yes, you can tell they're miniatures, but the craftsmanship behind them, and combine that with the Intravision and how they're doing front screen as well as back screen projection, and doing it in a way to where they can incorporate the miniatures with the actual actors themselves. It is really, really great. But you know, working in with the miniatures also, you know, things like coming up, you're going to have the shuttle, which to me is very reminiscent of Space 1999.
Yeah.
But this is an excellent way to incorporate miniatures into an actual sci-fi movie. Unless you're just a fan of Italian movies and you love the miniatures that look like they were filmed in the bathtub, this is the next level. So
absolutely.
And this is great. You know,
and the shuttle
everybody's
also resembles a covered wagon.
Yeah, the stage is coming to town. Yeah, when they arrive. Yeah, Tony says Peter Boyle is great in Johnny Dangerously with Michael Keaton.
Oh my gosh, I forgot he was in that.
Tony's knowledge is unbelievable. Tony, honestly, your knowledge is incredible. This bit now, we're at 1 hour 10 minutes and a half, and here we see now literally on the screen a countdown.
Oh yes.
And this is the last half an hour, last 25 minutes, half an hour of the movie, where we just have this amazing suspenseful build-up of he's just waiting, and he's prepared, and he starts preparing. He conceals guns around the station. He makes changes to the things, the machinery and everything. So he's setting traps and just sussing everybody out. And here's his newly appointed sergeant, who I've got a family. I've got kids to feed. He can't help out.
Well,
that's 7
and-
kids to feed, like the guy in Total Recall.
Well, and I think, oh yeah, I've got 5, 23, 87 kids.
I've got more kids than the last time.
Yeah, I was gonna point out the bar scene was an excellent transition in there because they visually give you the cue that he's on his own, and then they're reinforcing it with here when he's going to his new sergeant. You know.
Tony says, for Hyams movies, as much as you hate Time Cop, it's Shakespeare compared to the Sound of Thunder. You're right, absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I don't hate Time Cop. I watched it and I sort of enjoyed it. It's just because it actually dealt with the idea of, what happens if you meet your previous self, and that's how the baddie dies in the end, doesn't he? He touches his previous self, and the monarchy.
Well, that's right.
To hell and everything. So it was an interesting concept.
Pretty awesome in Time Cop.
I think the story was good. I think it was just let down by Van Damme. He's not an actor. He's just not
the all-American cop, the French accent.
The all-American Belgian cop.
Exactly.
Time mullet.
Time mullet. There we go. We need to make a movie called Time Mullet, and we'll invent a Belgian guy like Jan van der Vondersen or something, and Jan van der Mullet. That's it. Time Mullet starring Jan van der Mullet.
You know what? I'll star in the role, but only if I can wear the short shorts.
Please, let's start doing these things.
All right, write that.
Jan van der Mullet.
Yeah, write that down because I won't remember it with my hangover in the morning.
So here's 1 hour 13. This is the most significant part of the movie, in my opinion, where he has the first time the hard guy actually opens up and you hear what's inside him. He opens up and he has a heart-to-heart with Dr. Lazarus. Dr. Lazarus has that name because this story is about a man who comes back to life. All his life he's lived from one bum place to the next. He's reborn in this story. He comes back to life, which is why the doctor's called Lazarus, because she helps him. She helps him to sort of see that. And this line coming up where he says, I was supposed to be something I didn't like. That's
By
what's
the way,
in
the time
the
where
program.
everything is remakes.
Yeah,
this movie is also how you make a remake.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
You make your own movie.
Yes. I'm 100% behind you on that because we've talked about Seven Samurai to the Magnificent Seven, High Noon into this. Hollywood has gotten very lazy and they're rebooting instead of
rebooting is the worst, whereas reinvention is the best.
Yes.
Telling stories and the fact that we reinvent stories is the essence of humanity in the way we tell stories. But the worst version of that is reboot, where you don't tell the story, you make it worse. It's a photocopy.
You know what? I'm going to step on a ledge here and say we have been telling versions of the same story for at least 3,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the story works because it resonates with people. So it's not about rebooting and doing a cash grab. It's about reimagining and understanding what makes that original story, that one story that resonates with everybody, resonate.
How does it translate into the modern world? What can you do
to make
a story?
That's the difference between forgotten media and evergreen media.
Yes.
Because stuff now is forgotten in a week or two.
It's visual chewing gum. So you see how quickly the countdown's happening there. You had 40 hours, and you had 20 hours, then you had 9 hours. Now you're down to 8 or 7 hours or whatever, and it's counting down. He's secreting guns. He's changing things in the tunnels and stuff, and now a message comes through from his wife. Tony says here, get it up on crowdfunding. Time Mullet. I'm going to do the movie voice. Time Mullet. Coming soon.
In a world.
Yes, exactly.
Coming soon and coming back again from the future. He was a
man.
man.
Canadian passport. The denim tuxedo.
In a world where switchblade combs can't handle the hair.
Oh.
I need more body in my hair.
Quick, pass me the Aquanet.
His mullet was the source of his strength.
Kanye. Where is the Kanye?
Do not touch my mullet.
I'm in.
It is my superpower.
Like Kanye.
You could actually create an X-Man hero as character mutant as well, couldn't you? Called the mullet.
The mullet, yes. Oh my gosh. That's like an X-Force reject right there. Even Deadpool will be like, no, man. No, sorry. Mullet X.
Oh,
Mullet X is so extreme.
It's Mullet X. You could tell you could tell the same seven stories over and over again. You have to make it unique. Yeah.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
There are a set of stories which are critics frowned upon this movie when it came out. Oh, Snowville, it's just a reinvention of a Western. American critics tend to be very snobbish. Yeah, exactly. They're very snobbish about their own culture. It's like they look down their nose at their own culture. And the Western is basically the heart of American culture. If there was a narrative that symbolized American literature, it would really be more than even so. I would say even more than sort of American Gothic. It would be the Western.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, because that is something that is unique to American culture, and yeah, you're right. Critics, I'm sorry, a lot of critics just have their own farts with the stuff.
Look at Tony's comment there.
This hair, I don't like to do the splits. No more tears, baby. No more tears. We're going to see many wonderful things, Sean.
You're off to earth. You're a snotty-nosed little kid, but it's not
was that the contract agreement for Jean-Claude Van Malle? Was
probably.
In every movie, he had to have at least one scene of him doing a split.
Yes, he had to do the splits because
he had to show his butt.
Yeah, I think that's like a brown M&M's rider from Van Halen.
Oh, we can't have that on there, Tony. I had a naughty word on there.
oh, yeah, can't do that. Hold on, I'm going to pop over.
Tony.
So I can see.
That's now part of the video. It's immortalized now.
Yeah,
I don't think Susan will be that bothered about that.
Yeah, here in the US we're not bothered by that.
He was talking about a Dutch family name there.
Yeah, here in the States we would acknowledge. Yeah, we would acknowledge that as that as a fact.
Yeah.
About
no, don't worry, Tony. Don't worry, mate. No worries, mate.
No worries.
So here we are at we're coming up with 1 hour 20, and sort of the final thing that consolidates his decision to stand up for what's right is, his wife and kid left because they just didn't want to be part of this world anymore, and he had the heart to heart with the doctor. Now his son's just said, look, I want you to come back to Earth with me, and it's just reminding him of like, why am I in this world? But he needs to do this first, and this is something he feels he has to do. And you get that impression that there's 20, 30 years previous where he's been living this life, and he's decided this is the way I sort of pay back for never doing the right thing 30 years beforehand.
Yeah, and that's
a shuttle.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring up, that's a great point, because he's finally beginning to think about what he's doing, the legacy he's leaving behind, and how like his children, his family is going to think about things.
So it's early. The shuttle's early.
Ooh, that doesn't happen.
Tony says there, didn't think it was. I could
have. No, it's all good. It's all good, brother.
Tony, don't worry, mate.
Yeah, it's all good.
This scene here is like the typical scene that you see in all of these westerns where there's the last appeal to decency. in these little
Yes.
towns where you're the law, you handle it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what we pay you for, And that's not really the attitude to have.
Come on, Farmer McCready. Come on.
I'm just thinking about one of the best westerns that was ever made, which was High Plains Drifter,
Yeah.
where he gets his revenge on the town in that one because it was another case of they
Yes.
just let him die, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they left him out with no support, facing everything on his own.
This great scene here with the shuttle. So tell me about the special effects here. I love the siren and everything going off to tell everybody the shuttle's appeared.
Well, and they're working so well to work in the actors with the miniatures, because this shuttle is a miniature. And let me check. I think it's probably about 2.5 feet long. So, it's a situation where they've just taken the time, the craftsmanship to go
so
through.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, it's just like everything. I mean, Alien blew people away for the special effects, and this is just as good.
Well, and they're using creative angles, well lit as far as how they're doing it, and then compressed freon, which they used in airbrushes at that time to make the smoky effect. So
it's all the use of lighting and smoke and everything. Every trick that you can use
and
to
even
add to the atmosphere.
Yeah, and even the compression of that strut to just give weight to the model.
Yeah. And the slow-mo version of everything coming in slowly because it's all huge mechanical stuff.
Yeah,
nothing's convenient here. It all takes time.
No, exactly. And and we've kind of laughed, or I'm sorry, I've laughed at some of the stuff that we've seen that it's not held up, but this holds up pretty well. It's not something where you sit and you look and you say, "Oh, there's the obvious green screen."
Yeah.
So
this is the bit that we've been waiting for. This is the last 20-minute crescendo of action that is you're really built up now to expect something, and he's rushed into the office here to watch what's happening because he's going to see who comes off. He needs to identify these two guys who are going to be hidden amongst the people coming off on the shuttle. And I love the way that you don't even see them to begin with. You just see the shadows coming through the smoke. They're like that kind of effect, It's very quickly. The movie draws on the Gary Cooper classic Noon. Killer's on the way to kill the marshal, finds himself abandoned by his deputies. None of the residents willing to stand with him. So here's, do you see that the shadow, the rays of shadow and light playing through the smoke, just like the Alien movies, and that really builds up the tension and fear factor.
Well, notice the scores gently coming in. You've got some strings in the background, very subtly setting the mood. Yeah, excellent. It's an excellent atmospheric, and I keep coming back to atmosphere, but that's it.
Star Trek, Tony mentions 2.5 feet shuttle miniature like Star Trek.
Oop, there you go. All right, that's another 5 quid in the pot. Star Trek.
These doors here with the green and red lights to show that they're either locked or open for airlock purposes. This whole area here is used fantastically. This guy here is a British actor whose real name is Moriarty.
Oh, hello, Sherlock.
He's been in loads of movies where he's played villains, TV mainly. But I've always seen the two guys. So there's 2 hitmen have been sent.
Yep.
To snub him out. One's a heavy, the other one's a sniper rifleman. So they've gone with both angles here. Get him up close and heavy muscle, and the other guy who's going to try and pick him off.
Ooh, shotgun shells in the pocket, of course.
Just like Mad Max.
Love the swinging doors. Like you pointed that out earlier, but still holds up well. Wait a minute, sniper rifle with shotgun shells? Hold on.
Yeah, this actor, even though it's not, he reminds me of another British actor who I can't quite place. Anyway, so Peter Hyams, I've just realised, both the movies he's most famous for are situated around Jupiter.
Yeah.
This one is
Oh.
Io, and the other one, 2010, the year we make contact, Space Odyssey, was also around the moons of Jupiter.
Well, Io played a huge part in that. Matter of fact, Io was the birthplace of new life in that, because Jupiter imploded and became a miniature sun.
Io is the place humans are not allowed to go.
Exactly. Yes, we may have to drag out 2010 because my nostalgia button is itching on that.
Well, not only that, but it also. Oh, there we go. That's a really good scene there where he just happens upon them, and here we go. So we're at 1 hour 27 minutes, and the gunfighting has already started. This is the shootout, ladies and gentlemen. Who's coming to town on the stage? Why, if it ain't the Jed brothers or the Doogie brothers or whatever.
The Doobie Brothers.
Doobie Brothers.
The Doobie Brothers brought their album and their 12
shootout today this afternoon. Roy Scheider, is the other reason you would want to watch that movie, because Roy Scheider is brilliant.
Good point.
Who also appears in The French Connection that we'll be doing soon on this channel.
Oh, Blackwater, keep on rolling. Got my 12 gauge, gonna blast Sean Connery.
I like the way the sight on his gun is tracking the tracking the distance, and it's sort of like automatically targeting for him.
Yeah. Okay, kids at home, shotguns, or you point it in the general direction and it blows the crap out of everything. Sorry, Texas came in.
And Tony points out as well that Io is also the jump point for Babylon 5.
Oh.
And we've lost Ralph's mic again.
You mentioned Babylon 5 and he noped out.
Oh no, not Babylon 5. No. But the duct tape has fallen off the mic again, I think. But yeah, so we're now only in the last 15 minutes of the movie, and he's noticed the gun he secreted there has been taken away. So somebody is working against him. Which could be anybody, but we're going to find out who later on in the movie. It's not the two hitmen who've removed his gun. It's somebody else on the station. But he has, well, I'll not say too much at this point, but he's about to find an ally, I think. And I like the chase scenes through these tunnels where you've got, you've got to shut these pressure doors in time, and somebody's coming through the other pressure door because you can see the gears moving. Friend or foe? That's Dr. Lazarus, and he almost elbowed her in the face. I can hear you again, Ralph. You're back.
Hashtag you too.
But I can hear you banging your mic. I can hear you banging your mic again. Not once for yes, twice for no. So that's Dr. Lazarus. Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Damn it. All right. No more Star Trek references, Tony. You're killing me, man. You're killing me.
My dad took me to 2001 when I was 3 for the 10th anniversary. I hated it and never gone back to rewatch it. And if it wasn't for Dr. Strangelove, I still would have written off Kubrick.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Kubrick to me is Barry Lyndon. And we've got to do that movie sometime. Interestingly, Barry Lyndon, a couple of the actors in this movie were in that movie as well. I still haven't seen 2010. Well, I've seen both. I prefer 2010.
Yeah, I think so too, because we took Thing 1 and Thing 2 to 2001. They were not impressed. And I think it's the visionary part of it that was just a bit too much for them. So
yeah, it's very psychedelic, isn't it? So
yes.
So thankfully, gentlemen, he has finally found an ally with Dr. Lazarus, who's
Dr.
going to help him. And this is where he puts his alien suit on.
Well, or if you happen to be in some parts of the United States, that's regular wear to go out to any restaurant. In a decade, when somebody finds the archive of this, they'll be like, "What's that drunk idiot talking about?"
So we talked earlier about the volume of the total population of mining facilities: 2,140 people are seen in the briefing. 11 security officers, one officer for every 195 people. So that's the average ratio in American cities. So it suggests that the residents of Io are a rowdy bunch. Oh, it's just a suit. Don't worry.
Okay, you know what? And I'll give them, because, you still tried the occasional jump scare. I think
there's not many jump scares in this, you have to be honest.
Well, even Alien had it with Jonesy, so
here again, beautiful special effect here with the smoke and the light.
Yes, very well done. Tony, dadgummit, you're going to knock my mic out again.
Tony.
Stop it. Stop it. I was going to say I was never a Babylon 5 fan. I never got into it. I was next gen. I was cool with that. I didn't work into Babylon 5, and then boom, out went the mic.
Shame. Babylon 5 is the best.
I know. I've heard nothing but good things about Babylon 5.
There's a hole in your mind.
Yeah. A hole in my mind. A hole in my mind only Scotch can fill.
Here we have this same scene again in the same part of the set where she's closing one door and opening another. But it's the suspense of doing it.
Wait a minute.
And this foreshadows another scene. So she's running down here. This foreshadows another scene coming up where she's got to get through these tunnels without being discovered. Because if the hitmen find her, she's dead. This hitman's coming down this corridor. She's got to get out of this corridor quick. She runs around, and then it's a bit like a comedy routine in a sense because they've got to get through the doors, But when I watched this scene, this is one of the scenes that stuck out because she's just shutting the door in time before the other one opens.
Yeah, although I do have to complain about their password maintenance. I don't think they're following best practices because 12 sixes is not a good password.
No, it's not.
Oh, he's tracking the blood trail.
Hang on, that is weak, Ralph. Ralph, I hate typing. I'm shocking with my errors today. Don't worry, Tony.
You know what?
I think I've got a rubber keyboard as well, so
that's a fair criticism, Tony. No party foul, brother.
Just missed the gymnastics of Sean there, jumping down 1/6 gravity. Just managed to catch the tunnel there, on top of the tunnel. He's outside the tunnel, you see. So he has bad guy 1.
We'll refer to him as Mustache.
Mustachio.
Snidely Whiplash.
Whiplash mustache.
Whiplash mustache.
Here he goes down the tunnel. Now, this is where Dr. Lazarus comes into effect. I love the music at this part as well.
It swells nicely, yeah. It's a good score. It doesn't overpower.
Ralph.
Oh.
They don't do typos at Star Trek. Well, I remember. I think it was Star Trek 4 when Scotty was talking to the mouse computer.
Oh yeah. Here we go. So this is the bit here where he decompresses the. He basically blows the security locks on holding the tunnel together, and she's got to close this door before he gets to the door. Oh, chasey bit! Again, it's a bit like Alien, where you've got to trap them in the tunnel and things like that. So he's trying to get back, but she just manages to shut the door in time.
That explodes. Yeah, and I was going to point out as she comes out of that other corridor, and they have the tight close up on her face where you can see the. Oh, yeah, they went full Total Recall there
Too
before
much
Total
gas.
Recall.
Ugh.
Oi.
Cabbage Patch
That,
face.
Yeah. Oh, that takes us.
Alka-Seltzer really works.
That reminds me. That was very Big Trouble in Little China right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to say
He
when
didn't
she
have the
comes.
steam coming out of his nostrils.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe if they'd held that shot a little longer.
Oh, and here's now massive arboretum, hydroponics as well, vertical gardening and all that jazz. If Cosmetti was watching this now, we could have had a huge conversation about hydroponic, arboretums, which is what you would have to have. If we had this environment, you would have to have huge places growing stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, and they would, it all goes back to like we were talking about world building. So far, everything in this world makes sense, and that's something that I when I'm watching a movie and I'm like, why are they doing that? It just takes me out of that moment.
Oh, got a shock there, a
Uh-oh.
little bit of a jump scare. Can I help?
Can I help you, ma'am? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
That is fitting. I'm wearing a Big Trouble in Little China t-shirt there. Whoa!
Oh, Tony, yes!
Tony,
You
I
are
didn't
my
want to tell
hero,
you, but we
baby.
have a security camera in the corner of the room.
You know what? And I'm gonna jumping away from Tony for a minute. That hydroponics facilities, it reminds me of the map painting for Blade Runner for downtown LA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of has that feel.
The temple to the the corporation.
Wayland. Yeah, Wayland Corporation.
There's some tie-ins as well because the corporation, the Con Amalgamate, Conam, is also referenced in Capricorn 1.
Oh, is it now? I didn't realize. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it's referenced as the corporation that never completed its defective life support system.
Oh.
So, the little jump scare with the guy who came along there is a little bit of foreshadowing. So here he's picked up a panel, which going down there. So remember what we were saying about guns before, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Rule 101, safety rule 101, when you're in a space station, don't shoot the bloody glass out.
Yeah, don't shoot the bloody glass because you let all the air out.
Shut all the air out.
No, now the arboretum's going to fart him out into the space.
Sucked out everywhere, aren't you? Oh,
my
dear.
carrots!
Oh, there goes my flipping lettuce.
Double points because he blew up once he went outside into space.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Oh,
I've lost all my
know that it was coming.
And triple points because Sean Connery was walking like he had a hemorrhoid coming out.
Yes, he's like, oh, this is.
Oh,
it is a greenhouse. Tony says it's not just a greenhouse, but it's a greenhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go. He's done both men in. That's it. Job done, gentlemen.
Job done. Time to go back. Pour some scotch.
Well, they bothered to put a greenhouse in it, which you would have to have in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they don't do that in modern sci-fi movies.
Hold on. I've got to. They do it in.
Who's popped up here?
Yeah, another Patty. They do it in The Expanse.
So he is.
The Expanse. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say he is, therefore, definitely the son of the guy on Total Recall. Or the cousin, whatever. I've got 10 kids to feed. Because he's turned out to be a baddie.
Oh, no.
He was the guy on the inside.
That's it.
Sucks.
Uh-oh. Oh, crap, man. You got me.
We're 1 hour 41 minutes now,
Yeah.
and this is the like solar panel electricity conductors or whatever, because it's all charged with electricity. All of this. Oof, that's pretty scary.
Oh, well-timed
Down they
jump
fall.
there.
This is renewable energy
Yeah.
infrastructure.
This is your tax dollars and work for the Green New Deal.
This is the looting of what's left of America.
30 years ago, this would have all been coal-based.
Nowadays, we just use dollar bills as fuel.
We just burn your dollars. We found it to be much, much lower in CO2 than coal.
And if we run out of them, we'll just come for your clothes.
And we'll just print more. As long as you keep giving us taxes.
Hey, buddy, is that a shirt on your back?
Oh, don't need that.
You don't need that. We'll have that.
I understand if you go commando, we can get another 30 seconds of electricity.
This is a great scene with the... and this is typical 1980s blue electricity, isn't it, that you see in all the movies of the day?
Yeah, but, it's convincing. It translates well.
Well, it's not the arc in blue electricity. It's just blue electricity.
Right. Well, yeah, you get the blue light, but yeah, you don't have the CGI arcs of lightning and stuff. Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go. He's got his oxygen.
Uh-oh.
Done.
We're about to see spaghetti sauce.
That's it. And there he goes into the... Oh, and he's going to get vaped. Bzz.
Oh,
I don't know why the entire thing is electrified, but...
yeah, because plot.
And there we go.
It's static electricity built up from collecting solar winds and the dust from the moons coming together in science and stuff.
Everybody in the bar just said, "Ah, crap."
This is definitely the ring, ding, 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 ding moment.
Yes.
I think that would be the one prop I would want. Is that Con Am sign on the wall is really cool.
And it's great.
Yeah,
the way
that is
he's
awesome.
Injured as well, just like it was. Comes in, Shepard, you're under arrest, Shepard. I'm coming for you. And this last bit's brilliant.
They just face each other off.
Yep. Wait. He's too tired to read him his rights. It's just like, I can't even bothered. Just punches him out.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm with you there, Flash. I think that Con Am, that'd be an awesome wall fixture. I have a feeling Mrs. Ralph would gripe about the decor of Casa de Ralph, but it'd be okay.
No, you can buy
lighted tables now, too.
Yeah.
Lighted Star Wars tables.
Everybody's like, "Oh, well, this is awkward. We left him to die, and he didn't die."
So there you go. He's been reborn.
Yeah, come back in, follow out, and follow up with Dr. Lazarus. Nice.
But there's never a moment in this movie where there's a... Sorry there, Flash?
Turtlenecks never go out of style.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're Sean Connery. That's a typical shot. Look at him. Thing is, the polar necks always make his ears look bigger.
Well, Dr. Lazarus just threw out my favorite line from the whole movie, which is, "I'm on my way to drinking myself stupid."
Yeah, it's going to hit the fan here, and I'm leaving as well. So she's had enough. She's left as well. The overall, the movie that has no parts in it where you're thinking, why is this in the movie?
Yeah.
Everything we've been talking about is, that should be in the movie. Yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. Yep. There's nothing in the movie that shouldn't be in the movie, and everything that's in it should be there. There we go. And finally, right in the last minute, the music finally changes.
Yeah, exactly. It swells, moves away from menacing to hopeful. That switch from minor key to major key.
And look at this fantastic thing. Message to O'Neill Carol G from O'Neill WT. Arriving in time for flight. Keep ticket warm. Job done. Kiss Paul for me. Looking forward to sleeping with you for a year. O'Neill WT. End transmission.
You know, and you've used it in.
I've just had a tingle.
You've used the phrase. Well, and understandably so. You've used the phrase in several different movies that it doesn't have any fat on it, and this is a prime example. You know, it moves it along. Connery needs a scotch, and so do I.
Scotch.
Well spoken, Tony. A new skivvy. No, AOC's coming for that, buddy. We need that. We need that to fuel New York for 0.25 seconds.
This is really, and going back to what you said earlier about the posh term is dissemination of meaning, where these stories are retold and reinvented.
Yeah.
This is a 100% successful retelling of a Western.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, I'm a drunken idiot co-host, but
I'm a drunken main person.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is you can tell when something is good. You can tell when people care about what they're making, and you can tell when it's quality. And this is it.
Absolutely. I mean, critics at the time were keen to jump on the bandwagon, pardon the pun, with intellectual vanity, unable to resist pointing out like the obvious origins of the fact that it was a retelling of High Noon as a weakness. But that's absolute crap, because there have been many remakes in film history, some of them bad, some of them good, but reinvention, and like Flash said as well, reinvention and retelling is the essence of human storytelling. You know, the posh term dissemination meaning, it's something and it's sort of everything's tied in this movie, because it's something I've wanted to do on this channel for a while, which is you do, and we've talked about this, you do one movie, then you do another, then you do another, and the three movies are the same story retold three ways. And we'll have to do that sometime, but this has definitely touched that. It's a 1981 movie that we talked about. It's a Sean Connery movie. It's a classic movie that uses so many elements, and it's one of those hidden gems. But that retelling of stories, it gave us Star Wars from samurai movies, like you said, from the Kurosawa movies. It gave us, again, from Kurosawa, gave us Westerns. And an interesting play-by-play, Kurosawa and Ford used to retell each other's stories. They had a dialogue between two different cultures. But it's fascinating to see how like both said, how these stories have existed for thousands of years, and how these stories travel through time, through different cultures and through generations. So overall thoughts?
Oh, it's great.
And is it, I mean, to be honest, is it a movie that you would, have you seen it before, Flash? You've seen this movie before,
I have, yeah. It's one of those things that was always kind of hovering on TV. You'd always run across it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ralph back again.
I'm sorry. I gave up on the microphone. The duct tape gave way, and the Band-Aids fell off. I apologize.
No, that's all right. There's a different tone to your voice. You must be on the phone or something.
No, I'm on headset now instead of my my illustrious orange microphone. So I hopefully this sounds okay since we're at the end.
But it's very much current day. Sorry, go ahead, Ralph.
No, I wanted to piggyback on what you said about not only the story crossing time frames, it crosses culture, and what it comes down to is when you have something that moves at the human spirit, it doesn't matter whether, to use Kurosawa, it doesn't matter whether you're Japanese, to use John Huston, it doesn't matter whether you're American. It doesn't matter if you're British, if you're French. When it's a true human story that touches the human experience, it transcends all of that. And we've got that from the Greek mythology on forward. Those stories have survived the eons because they touch on the human experience,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and that's what I crave in movies. And I am so glad that you picked this because, like I said,
It
I,
really
I said
touches
in
that,
the
doesn't it?
pre-show, yes, I said in the pre-show this is one that had dropped off my radar, but it touches on that experience. And
Well, that's
so
it. It's not fantastic creatures. It's not galactic super events. The movie's a human struggle, a man on his own. It comes right down to that one person. It's a
absolutely.
story. And that's a story very much of the now. This is current day because it's a man who chooses integrity in a world which is completely controlled by corrupt, evil big corp. And
Yes.
that's current. We are at current day with that. So this is actually accurate because a lot of movies set in the future are really just a commentary on what's happening,
Mhm.
currently. But at the time this is written, and we're celebrating 40 years of it. Here we are 40 years on, and it is actually correct because, okay, we're not on Io yet mining titanium, but I mean, I suppose that's never changed. That's the universal, isn't it? But
Right.
it's
Yeah.
still
It's
current
carried
though.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's
we're just
Exactly.
in other countries mining raw minerals for our cell phones.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Tony says Outland still stands up 40 years on. It does.
I have to
Absolutely. It
agree.
does.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's one of the best movies we've ever done on this channel. Travel through time. Travel through time like time molecule. There we go. That has to be. We've got to, honestly, we've got to do this. We have to do this. We
I'm
have to
on.
make it happen.
I'm on it, Tony,
Diamond.
because in my drunken state, I'm like, "Oh, this is the best idea ever," and I'm sure I'm going to wake up in the morning and go, "What the hell am I thinking? What did I just agree to do?" But yeah, no,
Honestly, it's got to be done. A good
got to be
story is
done.
a good story, no matter the origins. That's
Yes,
exactly right. Exactly right. And
yes,
it's and wherever it comes from, doesn't matter which culture or which author or whatever. If it's a story that speaks to the human condition, then it really is something that's going to endure. And this goes contrary to modern day Hollywood because modern day Hollywood is playing it safe. That really don't want to talk about anything that could be controversial in any way. Uh, but anything that's any good is always going to be controversial.
yeah, and I think you summed it up well there with modern day Hollywood wants to play it safe, and I think that's playing it safe, doing reboots, doing the quick cash grabs. That will ultimately be their downfall. And I would not be surprised to see,
Mm.
uh, uh, kind of making a prediction, I would not be surprised to see Korean cinema take a massive jump into the American market and show
Yeah.
Hollywood what they're not doing correctly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we celebrate on this channel what's best about cinema history,
Yeah,
and because there is so much that is amazing and overlooked that people haven't even seen, might not be aware of, and why watch something which has just been released if it's no good? I'm not saying there's everything's rubbish now, but
no,
you know,
no,
there is so much amazing cinema that's already out there that you will never have enough time to watch all of it. Um,
absolutely. And
but
there's still, and you're right, there's still good stuff coming out, but there's a lot of crap coming out
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
can't in the earth. But I'm not gonna, name anything like in the earth. You know.
yeah. This movie, I'll just quickly mention the box office. Mixed reviews from snobby critics, as usual.
Yeah,
Um,
critics love to sing the praises of movies that no one ever wants to go see. So,
yes, because
yeah,
they like to just play with everybody, don't they? They
Hmm.
just like to really take the ridicule, the hate fans. So the film was nominated for Academy Award for Best Sound Effects and background sounds, but the box office was 17 to 20 million. Above it
That's
now.
very good.
It's pretty good, but that was the total estimated box office receipts, and that was above its 16 million budget. It was a huge budget to make this movie.
Yeah.
Huge, and you can see it, but you can see it in the movie. I mean, they really did spend the money well. You can see how expensive it is to make a movie like that.
And I want to bring up one thing that I don't think that I've talked enough about, and and forgive me if you guys have brought it up as well. We've mentioned the score, but the score is very understated, but it does its job very well. It sets the mood, which is what it should be doing. It doesn't intrude on the scenes, but it sets the scene.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Yeah, excellent job there.
So, just 1 or 2 points of trivia before we close. Sean Connery was given special permission to miss a morning's filming in order to film a minor but important additional scene for the movie Time Bandits on a housing estate in nearby Slough.
Right. Slough is where the space station was filmed.
Yeah, the sitcom The Office was filmed there as well.
Hey, Tony, I need you to go take the Slough out back. Yo. Oh, funny, Martin Bowers did the models for Thunderbirds. Since you brought that up, so
it was based in Slough. That's where their studio was.
Yeah.
There was when you think about it, why did they film in these locations? Because that's near the studio. It was about convenience sometimes. But,
exactly, everything happened to be in the same location.
And we're talking about Sean Connery with this, and his last scene where he's the fireman that turns up to rescue the kid. Now that kid, who starred in Time Bandits, the young lad. I remember seeing that when I was a child as well. I'm just wondering if he's the same one who's actually in this movie as well. That would just be like, what?
Let me look here, because now I'm thinking.
I think it's the same kid.
They do look alike.
They look so alike. I'm just going to quickly check, because I'm pretty sure.
Oh, here it is. Nicholas Barnes is the guy that played it.
But is he the same one who played the kid in Time Bandits?
I'm scrolling there. I don't think so. I don't see that listed on him.
Okay,
well, very similar, but no.
Very similar. It would be a bit freaky if they were. But anyway, so he got permission to film that one scene, which is always that one scene at the end of Time Bandits where it's like, what? Somebody explain that for me, please. I've still to this day I can't understand it. I know it's Monty Python, but I still can't understand it. Somebody will have to explain that for me. I know it's surreal, but anyway. But they allowed him to go ahead and film that one scene.
Thank you for letting me film that scene.
Pleased they did that, and in doing so, they created one of the most ambiguous endings in film history.
Yes.
The character of Sagan was actually in honor of Carl Sagan of SETI in Cosmos at the time.
Nice.
So there you go. There's a little bit of trivia there. We've already talked about Peter Hyams' 2 movies that he did, both most famous movies done around Jupiter. And we've also mentioned Introvision, but there's 1 or 2 little snippets here as well that... you mentioned this actually yourself, didn't you? That the title of Io was changed because the audience thought it was the number 10 or the word low.
Yeah, I'm sorry. On behalf of all Americans, I apologize. Hey, did you see the new movie 10? The one with Bo Derek? No, the one with Sean Connery.
I saw one called Low. In one scene in the movie, this is a last factoid I'm going to give you now before we go. The one last scene in the movie, the planet Jupiter is seen in the background, thin ice rings surrounding the planet, like Saturn has. At the time the movie was made in 1981, the existence of Jupiter's ice ring was relatively new knowledge. The ice ring had been discovered only 2 years before when the NASA space probe Voyager flew by the planet Jupiter in early 1979.
Hold on.
That's
I
if you
think,
don't believe that the entire sky is a holographic projection.
yeah, and I
Don't
think,
mention that phrase about the Earth being a certain shape, because
no,
that will
no.
trigger Susan.
Yeah, no,
Everybody
no.
knows the Earth is a triangle. Please.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
banana Earth. It's banana.
And I was going to say you mispronounced V'ger.
Oh yes, sorry, V'ger.
So yeah, V'ger.
Wants to be one with the Creator. Uh, and who did the music for Star Trek the movie?
Oh gosh,
Who
Is
was
that
the composer?
Goldsmith?
Yes, same
there.
composer as this.
Oh, nice,
Right?
nice.
Yeah,
That
nice little
explains.
tie-in as well. Okay, so it's a
It's
small
all.
world.
Yeah, it's all cousin. It's like a
Oh,
Alabama family reunion.
that's
Everybody
it.
knows everybody.
Yep.
A
So
lot more
we
than
have.
they should.
Oh yes. And Tony, quite rightly, I agree. He says all the money's on the screen, absolutely, and
Yeah.
this is the and the people who want to make a really good movie, they're not going to just take all of it and like the producers just run away with the movie.
Yeah.
Run away with the money. They're going to put that money into the movie. They're going to see it on the screen, which is what he did with this movie. And he says as well, I hate these $300 million movies where you wonder where did the money go. I'm looking at your Superman Returns.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm certainly looking at your Superman Returns. Yeah, I mean,
Look.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
happy with that movie, and
Yeah.
I don't think any of us three are happy with that movie, really.
No. And no.
And
Yeah.
Tony says, "I love Thunderbirds."
Thunderbirds.
The original show. Don't forget the guy who did Thunderbirds also did Captain Scarlet, and he was also the executive producer for UFO. And little known fact, the UFO show was sort of trashed, but came back as Space 1999.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Same
It was
idea.
meant to be a continuation, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There you
Nice. Nice.
bit of continuity there. These things. This is why we have this is what the internet's good for. You see.
Yes, exactly. The internet. It's not just for Rule 34 anymore.
It's just
science
like that
fiction
old
trivia is always right on the internet.
Well, yeah,
it is,
of course.
It's got to be right, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's on the internet. It's got to be true. Abraham Lincoln said so.
Exactly. Now, I think we've reached the end of our stream finally. But thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to Tony for being in the chat, and everybody who watched live. And thank you to everybody who's going to be watching recorded. We thank you to all our subscribers from America, from India, from South Africa, from Australia, New Zealand, everywhere in the world, from Britain, everywhere. And we're getting close to 2,000 subs. We're going to be doing something special for that. But in the meantime, we'll be back soon. I feel a French connection coming on pretty soon. And I'm not talking about anything hot and steamy. The movie, we're actually going to catch not something that you would catch through something horrible, but we're going to catch the 50th anniversary of the movie this coming week, because it came out in October 1971, and it was really the one of the most important movies of the 1970s, and 1971, wasn't it? And it launched the career of, we've already talked about a couple of the actors tonight who
Mel
played.
Torme. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm completely off.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
The
you're
Velvet
right.
Fog.
No, it's fine. But yeah, we've talked about Roy Scheider already because of 2010, the Space Odyssey movie. But Gene Hackman, it was the movie that launched Gene Hackman's career. Really set them into the world stage. But Roy Scheider was in that movie as well, and that was a fantastic. We will be doing that soon. But in the meantime, thank you again to both my co-hosts. Which, first of all, we've got Ralph Land with his magnificent toupee-less head of honesty,
I couldn't get it to stick in zero gravity.
And of course, the amazing flash out where with the Zardos costume, because every time you talk about Sean Connery, you must remember the red codpiece.
Yeah, you can't get over the cod
There
piece.
are also other even more weird scenes than that in Zardos, which we won't go into at this point.
That's 95% of the movie.
Yeah, it's a Borman movie, isn't it? Interesting talking about Borman. Excalibur is a movie I'm thinking of doing for the celebration, which is also a 1981 movie with a very young Helen Mirren, very sexy young Helen Mirren, I might add.
Ooh.
And the first appearance, well, almost the first appearance of a very young Liam Neeson. So he might do that movie. Very fantastic.
It was after he played Jesus, but before he was Darth Man.
Was it
exactly?
Was this? Yeah, this would have to be post Krull, I hope.
No, it's not actually. I think this is pre-Krull.
Oh, pre-Krull.
But post him playing the Lord.
Oh,
yeah, he's one of the lords he's one of the knights of the Round Table. So Tony says, "Thanks for a great stream, guys. I'm glad to have rewatched Outland today." Well, thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony,
for all the one-liners and all the knowledge. Absolutely brilliant. Wouldn't be the same without you, Tony. And our very own Ralph says, Tony Nasser, thank you, mate. Appreciate you. And have a great Sunday indeed. Well, thank you to everybody. And once again, we will be back. But until next time, thank you for watching. And in a Sean Connery voice, good night.
Yeah, good night. Thank you.